What's up, everyone? Got the gang here. They're hard at work. This one's a little bit different. It's our longest video ever. We decided, hey, there's a lot of good content in here. Let's show the whole thing.
Right. How's everyone doing? This is awesome. Give yourselves a hand. I'm excited to be here. Okay. As I talk through just this next 45 to an hour, I like to have attention. Devices are all over the place. So I'm going to walk around, just toss a ball. If you catch it, toss it back to me. Ready? Okay, nice. So I am Paul Rabil. I play with Team USA and the New York Lizards. Baltimore is always a great spot to be for the lacrosse convention for a few reasons. The first is that I grew up about 50 minutes from here. My dad and I work together. My brother and I work together. My dad's at booth 323 right now. He helped me evolve, as did my mom, my younger sister, playing this sport. When I went to college, I originally didn't think that I was going to stay in state. Then a Coach Petramala came around, who was such a wonderful recruiter. And what does that mean? Well, he was the first to call on the first day, which now recruiting legislation has changed a bit. So we're back to that time, but he called at midnight with the permission of my parents. On July 1st, he would be the first to handwrite letters. We would talk for 25 or 30 minutes versus other coaches perhaps only talking for 10 or 15. So the little things that Coach Petro did got me to Johns Hopkins. All right, I have an extra ball. You can keep that one. Here you go. Well, now I'm sending the wrong signal. All right, so Johns Hopkins. U.S. Lacrosse, I mentioned, they just announced Team USA, the group that's going over for the World Games in Israel this July. I've been a part of this process now. This is my third time. We're really excited to be out there. I know I've met so far this morning folks from the U.S. and Canada. What a great rivalry. I learned a lot when we lost in 2014. It was a humbling experience. It was really hard on myself at the time. That's been kind of the proxy for change, where I feel like there's such thing called post-traumatic growth. But I like to think every time I'm in Baltimore, there's a big Team USA presence. All right, the last thing is that Rabil Companies, the group that I helped co-found, a lot of the folks that are here today and back at that booth 323 were headquartered here in Baltimore. So there's a lot of touch points here. I'm excited to be here, and thank you so much for coming. It means a lot. Now, the goals for today, there are really only two. But before I tell you what I'm going to do, by a show of hands, and if you're one of everything, you can keep your hand up. But the first is if you're a player, an active player, raise your hand or stick. Wow, that's really awesome. Okay, great. If you are an active coach, raise your hand or stick. Awesome. What about a parent that doesn't necessarily coach or play, but is here to learn? What about a parent who coaches too and potentially plays in adult leagues? That's awesome. Fully immerse yourself in this sport. That's how you improve. One of the questions that I get that I fumbled with a lot: Paul, are you doing too much? You're posting, you're YouTubing, you launched a podcast, you have an email newsletter. Oh, you're training every day. You're trying to get 8 hours of sleep. You're building Rabil events. You're doing all these things. How do you stay focused? And I've since veered the conversation over to, I think I know why I do this, because I think to be great requires you to fully immerse yourself into the category of the industry of which you're in. But the bigger piece is just being curious, intellectually. I do a lot of things because I get to be around different people and learn from them. I had meetings this morning, I have meetings this afternoon, yesterday, and so on and so forth. And they're not just to set up a meeting to accomplish a business task or do something that's finite. It's about meeting people. Many of you are here today, some of which you know, others you've never met. Say hello, learn about the different geographies that are growing in lacrosse. Now, in years past at the convention, I've talked about a lot, from stick work to shooting to dodging. And I've learned you can kind of walk away feeling inspired, but it's tough to process or remember a few things. So this time, we said, we're just going to give you 3 drills that I do every time I shoot. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to explain each one, and I think these drills will help you with accuracy and power. All right, then we'll hopefully carve out time. As you can tell, I'm fairly long-winded. We'll carve out time for Q&A. All right, meaning anything related to the drills, lacrosse, life, business, players, coaches, parents. Okay, we good? Yeah, let me get that hand again. That was awesome when we started. Give me some energy with some claps. There you go. Okay. All right. Now, volunteer. Okay, you stood up. Come on over here. Yeah. Okay, I'm just going to have you catch the ball and toss it back. All right, the reason why I asked for a volunteer, in an ideal world, if you have a friend to go have a catch with, the friend, the coach, the parent, that beats the wall. We can't always have access to such, but the reason why I think an actual human being is better than a wall is the unpredictability of the sport. It travels out of our stick on different arcs. It hooks with different sticks. We have to focus on a trajectory that's different than just flat line at a wall. Now, if you have a wall, hit it as much as you can. That's what I did and still do. All right, because that's where you get repetition. But if you have a chance to pull a teammate aside or a parent or coach, parents, learn how to have a catch. It's great. You don't have to switch hands with your kid. You don't have to throw one-handed behind the back. Just catch with your strong hand and get it back to her or him. All right? So what I'll say here, a couple of things, and why I do want to address stick work. And this is fundamentally, hopefully, and psychologically helpful to the kids out here that are playing, is that don't jump right into shooting ever. You want to learn about your stick and how it's playing in that particular day. We're used to things of consistency, and what's not consistent is the weather or our sticks. Okay, so feel what it's like each day. The environment shapes it, indoor, outdoor. I know there's a lot of indoor stuff going on. Team USA indoor here is practicing and playing tonight. You guys should all go out to Burns, which is right in Canton, probably a 10-minute Uber from here. Okay? So stick work, part two, though, is that, again, players, when you're practicing against the wall, here's how I frame it. I'm working on my shot. I know a lot of you all want to get out and work on your shot, and sometimes we're forgoing the importance of stick work, okay? But it's basically a shot in its simplest form, all right? And I'm going to get into technique, but at its simplest form, it's a harder version of your pass, okay? So the better your stick work gets, the better passer you are, the better shooter you'll become. Thanks, brother. Nice job. Give him a hand. All right. Where are we at on timing, B-Rob? 104. 1204. 1204. All right, so not too bad. My first drill, it's called the point of release drill. All right? I like to get the balls right at the island, which is 5 yards outside, goal line extended 5 yards up. Couple of reasons. One, it's the next step from stick work, where we're now starting to do what? Pass harder. Okay? Number two, again, giving thanks to those like US Lacrosse, MLL, my high school team, Johns Hopkins. They've given us opportunity to have some nice balls. When I was younger, I had about 2 or 3 balls. All right? And it was a pain because I'd miss. That's probably actually how I got in shape. I'd miss and then have to run and go rag the ball nonstop. So part of me thinks, I've been doing this drill since I was in 7th grade. Part of me thinks I like to shoot close to the net because there's fewer misses. But there's some value in that, right? Get close to the net. Think about basketball too, which I grew up doing. Many of us just go out and you'll shoot 3-pointers. You have to rag the balls in hoops. But in lacrosse, we go out and we shoot from 12 and 15 yards. All right? You're really working on your form in hoops, and Morgan Wooten brought this to DeMatha, which was the school that I went to high school at. We would start directly under the net, but shoot as you would if you were shooting a 3, not touch shoot. We would take our shot, and we'd fully follow through, and we'd have to hit 10 with no rim. So there's value to saying, I'm not going to worry about throwing my shot off by reaching back and trying to shoot as hard as I can right now. I'm just going to work on fundamentals. So this angle, my goal is to try and hit that corner consecutively, high and low, righty, and I'll move to the left side. Structure is the same as the stick work, opposite foot forward. Hands are here, loose grip. I'm pushing forward and pulling down, all right? And my goal is to adjust. So as I pop into that corner, I'm controlling my accuracy by snapping here. It's like a catapult. Raise your hand if you watch Game of Thrones. They call it trebuchets, right? The further you drop your wrist, the more likely the ball slips behind you. Also, the more likely, let me see if I can call it this time. Snap your wrist, the higher it goes. Okay. So, alternatively, if you keep your wrist tighter, you can pop the ball low. All right? Many goalies, do we have any goalies in the audience? Many goalies are terrific, by the way, unbelievable courage and skill. All right? But if we also have coaches, we have a team out there, they're shooting the ball low. The goalie's saving the ball low. Coaches are going, he's guessing low. Goalie's guessing low, shoot high, come on. The goalie is getting there, so there's some credit to it. But the reason why goalies are guessing low, and I'm just coming off of Scott's presentation, is that they're reading your body. Many of us are shooting with our shoulders. We may not realize it. But when we shoot the ball low, we aim low with this front shoulder and try and get it down. So if you're a goalie and you see a front shoulder dip, guess what you're going to do? Dip with it. All right? So what I like to try and do is keep my shoulders level, overhand or sidearm, or underhand the best you can, and then use my accuracy with my wrist. If I want to get it higher, I snap more. If I want to get it lower, I keep my wrist tighter. Okay? So I'm going to reel off a few here, and I'm going to address just hitting that corner here. So I'm here. Heads up back there. Oh, this is nice. I was hoping it was going to go this way. I'm going to keep it going. All right. Okay. So that's overhand. Let's talk about sidearm. All right. You guys see me shoot sidearm, so I'll address it. All right. My theory, it's probably off, but my theory is that players should create skill around their strengths. I am more of a rotational guy. As I've gotten older, I've run into some shoulder issues, high to low, but naturally, this movement works better for me. I have a stronger core, my hips can rotate, and I can turn far. My theory is that we program ourselves to play overhand because that's how we're taught from the beginning, and that's how it's always gone. Again, I'm likely off, but I like to think in a contrarian way. And the reason I say that is I've become really accurate sidearm and underhand because I've developed those skill sets. All right? But there are certain things to think about if you're doing that. Bottom line is, the world of lacrosse is more accurate overhand than any other shot. That's factual, data-backed. The world of lacrosse has also, by a multiple of probably 100 to 500 to 1,000 times, has practiced the sport of lacrosse overhand more than sidearm or underhand. So, from a logic standpoint, it's going to be more accurate. That's how I like to think. So sidearm, how do we do something that's accurately? That it's accurate. All right, same body position. Here's where things go sideways. We start doing this with our shoulders, or we over-rotate. If you can keep your shoulders on a level plane to the field, all right, that's the same as keeping your overhand directly overhand. I'm shooting overhand, I can still sky it that way. I'm shooting sidearm, I can still miss that way. Okay? Follow me now. So what I want to do is when you see me shoot sidearm, just to say, he's thinking about it from a technical standpoint, how to shoot sidearm. And I think you should as well. The last thing I'll say, though, for you young kids, they're now going to go back to your coaches, and coaches are like, let's get out of here. Coaches, you are within your right to say, not right now, not during this practice, not during this game, until you've shown me that you can do it consistently. I don't think the conversation should be, don't do it. It should be until you've practiced it enough to where you are confident and consistent. Don't do it on my turf. And that also sends a message to the players that we don't come to practice to improve. You come to practice to work on your schemes with the team. all right? When I was more hard-headed, this is back to that post-traumatic growth of losing to Canada, I thought about everything. When I was more hard-headed, I go, yeah, Coach Petro, I'm only getting 15 shots before practice, and we're going 6-on-6. I'm not ready. Well, get out to practice early. It ain't time for you to do that. This is my time. I'm trying to put together a team and work on our offenses and defenses, all right? So coaches, you're within your right. Players, how do you do that? I subscribe to Malcolm Gladwell, all right? He talks about 10,000 hours to acquire a skill professionally. I like to just say, and again, probably off here, but like to say try to get to 10,000 reps. And that is a lot, all right? Sidearm here. Opposite foot forward, rotation, keeping my shoulders level. Now my wrists are still going to do the same thing. The more that I snap, this is now telling the ball release here, it's going to go that way. The tighter I keep my wrist, I can keep it short side. So if I snap a lot, it's going to go at that STX sign. All right, if I keep it tighter, I'm going to pull it short side in between that gap. Get off your phone. I'm just kidding. Seriously, I'm just kidding. Yeah. I'm on it more than anyone. Yeah. Okay. All right, sidearm here. All right. Let me try and work that corner. Something about today. I think it's your energy. All right, good. You know what else I started doing? To get myself to cool off. End with a miss. It's okay. World's not going to end. Shoulders are level, and we're going to try and snap through. So my wrist now, the more I snap, this is one's a little bit more tricky. See if someone can answer this. If I snap more, where's the ball going to go? Someone yell. Let's get a booming voice. Low. Nice job. The reason is if you snap here, it's going to start releasing. By the time it comes out, it stays low. So I like this shot a lot, particularly on low angles, because goalies like to sit and wait for something to come high. So you get there and just hit it right through their 5-hole. They think you're coming high. I like to even, if you're watching me, if you guys are the goalie, I actually like to keep my head and eyes high, boom, keep them up high, and get it low. All right, I'll shoot a few more here. So we're here. I'm there. Try to get a quick release too. Heads up. All right, I wish we were playing pipes. And low. And high. And the high. And the low. Okay. So here we go. Here's what we're going to do. This is an important nuance. We're going to shoot from our knees, both knees. Okay, and we will align our knees parallel to goal line extended. Goal line extended. That is so important in this drill. It's more important than the opposite foot forward in a pass. Okay, because if you do this drill and you catch your players doing this, they're developing momentum like a time and room shot. They're not working on their shot on the run. Right? This is more helpful and easy to get the ball down and through. When you're here, this creation is the same as our momentum this way. It's going to force you to turn and get the ball down and through. Now I'm going to get my shoulder up, down, and I'm going to try to rip through to that lower corner. Most people do this drill and the ball stays high up there. They'll be like, I can't get it down. Do it and do it and do it, and then you'll realize, this shoulder, this yank down with my opposite hand, turning my core through is driving that ball down to that corner. Boom, boom. And what you want to do then is try and pick up pace. And you want to reach back and boom. Okay? That's how I shoot on the run. And I said it earlier, and I'll say it again. I'm not the fastest shooter on the run. I'm not the most accurate. I have a quick release, and I get it down and through. Some of my dear friends are goalies at the pro and international level. And they've told me, we get the scouting report for the New York Lizards. Paul's coming down the alley. He's shooting opposite stick side low, opposite pipe. All right? Little tip I'll give you. Hey, where's Logan? Come on out here. Hurry up. My man. Hop on over to like an attackman position, right at goal line extended. We're in good shape. That's what he does. All right? So a little bit goal line extended, a little bit wider. When I'm coming down the alley, I love this pass because that's a step down, especially if teams are coming adjacent. I'm coming down the alley, I'm popping there. I'm coming down the alley, I'm not popping there, I'm shooting. Okay? So this whole stuff, you're telling the goalie, all right, he's shooting. He's going, I'm going to step out here, a little bit here, and then boom, right? So this is a drill that's called Swat the Fly. You can do it by yourself. Ideally, you're doing it with a coach or a teammate. But in this case, you're going to do it for me, and I'm going to do it for you, okay? So put the stick down. You're going to get on one knee like this, and your job is to toss the ball that high. Not super high, not at me, just high, like that. Okay? And what we're going to practice doing is putting everything together where we develop power from our base on a time and room shot, accuracy with our wrists, and a quickness of release. I prefer a Swat the Fly because having the ball in your stick enter is far more realistic, and in some cases we have to, picking it up, taking a cradle, and shooting. Okay? So even when I don't have a teammate, I pick it up and toss it up here so I can come down and shoot. All right? That ball entering your stick is far different than starting with a cradle. Who here, as a midfielder or even attackman up top, has caught one of those heaters from X, those skip passes? I played with one of the best passes ever in lacrosse. It was Ryan Boyle, and he would throw it fast. And I'd be top center on the power play. We were in Boston. He'd skip it. Boom, that thing would hit my pocket. Pocket would be back here. I'd shoot it. It hit my foot. So I learned when I caught Ryan's passes, I'd give myself a quick shake to loosen up the pocket. Ryan wasn't wrong. I wasn't wrong. It's just being able to adapt to the style of play. And the reason I like Swat the Fly is let's worry about catching and all that kind of stuff during practice with the coaches and catching ball off feeds. This one is a good one because you're catching it in your stick. Let's get the ball to like there. All right, the reason I want to get it higher is that, boom, I'm catching it, ready to shoot. First things first, to develop power, have a wide base. The wider your base, certainly don't want you to do this. Okay, the wider your base, just a foot outside your shoulders. That's how you generate momentum. I take my back leg, momentum here to my front leg and rotate, okay? If you have a narrow base, you can't generate momentum. You can't really turn. You may be able to shoot the ball hard, but you can also shoot it harder if you have a wider base. So as that's coming up, I'm setting wide base. Second thing, ready to rotate. My momentum back. This whole numbers to the goal thing, I get it. Ideologically, like the more I rotate, the more power I'll be able to generate, but I can't even see the net. This is going to be tough, right? So I like to think about it as weight from back leg to front leg. You will turn a bit. Allow that to come natural and feel that out through the process. Back leg to front leg, okay? Then the last thing is as we load up, we're here, base, as we load up, I'm going to take this weight and go all the way through my front leg and follow through. You see that rotation? Okay, great shooters. Throw me some. There's some great shooters that don't rotate through. They're here, back leg, here. Okay? Oh, that might work. All right. Now, guy like that or a gal like that can just be a little bit better and have more power on their shot, okay, if they catch it here, all right, and then rotate through. Wide base, rotating. Now, you'll see some of your players do this. Ball comes through, not have the timing around it. This is the advantage of being a multiple sport athlete. Okay, I'll say this. I learned how to teach it from my time in swimming. Okay? Because I'm talking to some really talented players, and they're like, they're just fine like this, you know? And then when they rotate through, they're like coming at the same time, okay? And I'm starting to think about it, it's because they're forcing that back leg through. So when you're shooting, all right, and this has become the art of shooting with power as I instruct, I thought about my Speedo, 50-meter, breaststroke. That was my jam. I was an MCSL 8 and under all-star. Get on here, boom, chest forward dive, and you're out. You're literally jumping and going toward where you want to shoot. Okay? So in lacrosse, you're going to shoot the ball harder if you catch it and say, I'm going to the net. And that's going to start here with my chest, just like off the starting block. And you'll find that if they turn and go through, the back leg is actually more of a real follow through, or it's a check and balance. It's swinging around because it has no other choice. Okay? So, take a couple more, and then we'll go Q&A. Hopefully this has been good. It's been a lot of fun for me. All right? So I'm here, and I'm thinking about my chest. Boom! And I'm shooting it through. Let's be mindful of our footwork. I'm not catching it, not stepping down here and shooting either. Okay? It's a quick release. So it's here. All right, thanks, brother. Nice job. Nice job. Give him a hand. All right? Let's do some questions and answers. Anything you want. Yep. Oh, he asked about the Dude Perfect video. How long did it take? It took 2 days. And like, what's interesting, the way they've crafted their video and their business is they never claim that they hit the shot on the first try. That's what I was like. I was like, you know, this ain't happening, guys. I'll let you know. But 2 days of shooting. Anyone else? He was basically asking an interesting question where I see this a lot, and I'm interpreting it this way, is that sometimes people will shoot, and with their follow-through, they'll either smack the ground here with their stick, or I see folks that let go that way, okay? There's different ways. First of all, style. There's a gentleman by the name of Steele Stanwick who's an All-American national champion, All-Pro player. He shoots like this. He's like Salt Bae, you know? I think I'd like to get him to like, shoot more, and you know, I think there's something to it, Steele. I don't know if he's here. All right, but those problems, I think, they're challenges. They get solved if you incorporate base rotation and follow through. When I come through, I come around this way. All right, some drills to work on. You guys may have seen this black band here. That's for my shoulders. I work out my shoulders before I shoot. I stretch my back. One more question. If I wasn't here right now, where would I be? I don't know. I try to live in the present moment. And right here, I'm really excited to be here with everyone here as my 5th LaxCon. I will be shortly over in booth 323. I've tweeted out as part of Rabil events. We host the Rabil Tour, Scott Rogers goalie training, Kyle Hartzell and Tucker Durkin's defensive academy. We're launching other properties. Our thought behind it is lacrosse is growing at the youth level. It's excellent. We don't want to compete. We just want to supplement. Okay? So what we look at and our experience as operators in business has been in the gym space. We have a portfolio of gyms. We've seen that space go from full-service clubs to now spin, yoga. People want a more curated, special experience. So defenders, if they want to just work on defending, they go to defensive academy. Goalie train, specialized training, great experiences by the players, for the players. We're all signing today, 323 at different times. Meet my dad. I talked about him when I opened. Thank you so much. I really appreciate everyone for coming. It was so wonderful. I'll see you all soon.
Longest video ever. Yes! Neil, your favorite part. Why are you laughing already?
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's been a really long day at the office. Let us know what you thought, for those of you that stuck around to the very end. Comment below, and be sure to subscribe to this channel. It's lacrosse season. We're pumping out a lot of content.